Outside, a rare occurrence, there was a powdering of snow on the field strips, which the wind was lifting and throwing about like white grass seed. Indoors, Arner had just recited a new poem with something wrong with the last verse, and 6 men were helping him with it. Thorfinn said, "Why not? It's always held at the Moot Hill, and that's just south of Dunkeld. If he could get an army from Dunkeld to Tullach last year, you could get near enough to cut his throat if he kills me." 2 years ago, Thorkel said, "my guess is that, wherever it's held, they'll plan it for Easter." "You mean March," said Thorfinn amiably. "I mean March," Thorkel assented. He could hear the sharpness of his voice. "Well, leaving aside the problems of March for the moment, let us consider," Thorfinn said. "There can't be anyone living now who remembers the last time they proclaimed a king. In fact, did Malcolm not just pick up a set of properly annotated gospel books and run?" "I know what happens at a king-making," offered one of the younger Salmundersons. "I've a cousin in Derry that told me once. They slaughter a mare," 3 people groaned, "and bring her to the new king, and the new king pretends that it's a mistress." Everyone groaned. "And then they boil the mare, and he has a bath in the broth, and then eats it. I told them," said the Salmunderson boy, rather red in the face, "that we stopped eating horseflesh 30 years ago, when Olaf Tryggvason said it was heathenish." "A good-luck custom. Why not?" said Thorfinn to the boy, through the ensuing uproar. "That's what my cousin said," said the boy quickly. "All the same," Thorfinn said gravely, "I don't think I see Duncan embracing it. You'll probably find he merely marries a slab of rock. Much less exciting. They'll still blame him if the crops go wrong." He was shaving a piece of calfskin, and there were whiskers all over his knees. The boy said, "Why don't you go and be made king? You're a grandson of King Malcolm as well." There were some things now that no one said to Thorfinn, even Thorkel, even Cillian. No one spoke. Thorfinn blew a drift of cow hair into the long fire, laid down the skin, and took up a whetstone. "And what a very good idea nephew Rognvald would think that was," he said. "Or perhaps you think Bruce's son ought to have Orkney and Caithness to look after while I move down roughly in the direction of Winchester. I don't quite see how I could do it all otherwise." The boy, suddenly aware of the silence, looked at him but said nothing more. Thorkel Fostri, pitying him, said, "Duncan is his grandfather's intended heir. Whatever the rights or wrongs of it, you could only challenge him by going to war, and you might think, as Thorfinn says, that we have territory enough to look after." Cillian's voice spoke from the end of the hall, where he was grinding something in a bowl. "Nonetheless, he is within the royal Derivini, isn't he? Of the royal kindred within 4 generations from which the fittest man may be elected, or is that Irish, like the horse-boilings?" "No. Kings have been elected that way over here, or from alternate sides of the kindred. The Picts had a different way again, by descent through their women. For the past 50 years the throne has been open to whoever among the kindred was strong enough to take and keep it. The last 8 kings of Alba were all murdered. Half the battles Malcolm fought were to pick up enough booty to keep his electorate happy." Thorfinn, unexpectedly, had answered. He finished sharpening his knife and looked up, the blade glittering in his hand. "I'm not up for election. You'll have to learn to like winters on Orkney." "All the same," Skeggy said, "I wonder if all the men who supported King Malcolm will find quite so much to admire in King Duncan. A war might not even be necessary." Thorfinn stood up. A further shower of cow hair fell into the fire, and sizzling stank for a second time. He held up the pared skin. "Do you see that? It will shortly be vellum." He pointed to where Cillian was crouched. "Do you see that?"